skiing, riding, sledding, winter biking, winter hiking.
No matter how you Vermont, please Vermont safely.
Cross-country skiing, snowshoeing, snowmobiling, snowman building.
This year, that means a 7-day home quarantine with a negative COVID-19 test or a 14-day home quarantine with no symptoms to visit.
Snowball fighting, ice skating, ice climbing, ice fishing, ice cream eating.
So we can all Vermont safely this year.
Dining, craft beering.
Talk to your favorite Inner resort about smart travel suggestions, reservation policies, and the best way to Vermont this winter.
Hot cocoaing, antiquing, shopping, fireside napping.
For full COVID-19 travel guidance, visit VermontVacation.com.
Bucks County, Pennsylvania is an ideal destination for a holiday getaway. Travel responsibly during the most festive time of the year and stay in the area's gorgeous lodging properties. Celebrate the holidays with a scenic drive through the covered bridges, a visit to castles, holiday light shows, and outdoor festive fun. Eat, drink, shop local, and be merry while visiting main streets scattered throughout the countryside. Go to visitbuckscounty.com to start planning.
If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. What's going on, everybody? Today is Saturday, April 18th, 10:30. I'm in Fort Worth, Texas, a.k.a. Funky Town, a.k.a. Cowtown. And today, I was on YouTube, and I've been hearing people talk about an investor by the name of Jay Morrison, a real estate investor, and he started a fund called the Tulsa Real Estate Fund, and he pulled about 9,000 people, black people, into his investment, and it cost about $500 to get started. And I want to speak about where he went wrong and where he could actually improve at. So you got to remember, guys, when it comes down to investing, I've been seeing a lot of investing things like new startups popping up saying to buy an initial 1,000 shares valued at such and such amount. Basically, minimum is $500, $1,000. And I've been investing for some time now, but I didn't really start understanding it until about 2016 or 17, I believe. This may be a lengthy podcast, but I'm gonna break down the differences between investments, break down shares, because really a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people, when you watching TV, you're watching CNN, you're watching the stock market, and you're watching the Dow Jones Industrial. You're watching the S&P 500. You're watching Chinese stocks. Chinese stocks, European stocks, oil and gas, commodities, things of that nature. And it can be very confusing if you don't really understand. And it's my opinion that it's confusing for a reason. Because the people that are really benefit, if everybody really understood it, I believe they feel that everyone it wouldn't be as profitable. But I've learned in life that what's meant for you, first and foremost, is meant for you. And there are some people who just are not going to get it. That's just what it is. So that's something you got to deal with. So let me break down stocks to you. Let me break down being an investor and things of that nature. So let's start with investors. To be an accredited investor, they say you have to be worth $250,000 on up. To me, that means liquidity, like $250,000 cash money, straight up, minimum. And if you're less than that, you are non-accredited. Let's get that straight. Accredited, you're worth, and this can be with a spouse, $250 and above, and liquid, not assets, but liquidity, meaning cash. Whenever you hear people say, I'm liquid 10K, I'm liquid 20K, that means they have $10,000 cash that they can touch, or that they or their investments, or their liquid like retirement and things like that. And non-accredited is less than $250,000 a year, or worth less than $250K. I'm sorry. So I'm making it simple. Now, me personally, I don't know if they mean total assets, but I'm gonna say liquid, because that means money you're worth. You checking at those accounts, and money you can touch, taste, feel, smell at any moment's notice. So accredited, $250,000 and above. Non-accredited, less than $250,000. So when you hear those terms, that's what that means. And those are individuals. That doesn't necessarily mean a corporation. Okay. Now let's break down stocks. And you hear terminologies, those of us that work in the workforce like myself, you hear the terminology shares. They are a shareholder. He or she is a shareholder. Okay. So when you're at work and you have your 401k, and a lot of people don't even know how to manage their own 401k. And a lot of times if you work for an organization, check their stocks, and today their stock may be valued at $3,500 a share. And that's very great. So what does that mean? That means if you want to buy one stock from that company, you're going to have to give them $3,500. Okay? All of a stock is worth for today. Because remember, every day the prices of stocks either go up or go down. So if you're looking for company A, and today their stock is $100, valued at $100 a share. So that means that if you want to buy those shares, to buy 10 shares, you got to give them $1,000. So one share is 100, 10 shares is 1,000. So now you own 10 shares, which cost you $1,000. Let's just say you hold on to those 10 shares and never buy any more. And let's just say one day the shares go up to $300. Those 10 shares are worth $3,000, because remember they went up from $100 to $300. So I know that makes sense to you. I know it does. Now, that's pretty much investment 101 basic. Now, that's what I just spoke about, was being an accredited investor, a non-accredited investor, and stocks, how you would buy them, how you would see them. Now, of course, you do have charts and things like that you can look at, where if you want to become like a day trader, or if you just want to trade stocks. And I don't know if you guys know it or not, but if you are doing your own investing on your own, buying stocks or with your company, most times they have what you call now intelligent portfolios or professional management, which basically either a computer's managing your portfolio for you or a human, and you tell them, and if it's a human, they're just basically letting the computer do its job. That's all, because they're not going in there and managing that themselves. So with that being said, you can actually manage it yourself. You can actually subscribe to stocks. You can watch stocks every day, or you can type in your stock for the day and you can check on your stocks and see the price. And you can, pretty much know how you want to move, if you want to buy some more, things like that. Like, for instance, one bank I have, they had a thing called intelligent portfolio, which was AI managing it for you, artificial intelligence. So basically, the computer was doing everything. You tell the computer what risk. Do you want to be a risky investor, or do you want to be moderate and conservative? So based off that, an initial down payment was minimum of $5,000. And some investments do some accounts with brokers and companies like Fidelity, Charles Schwab, Vanguard, TD Ameritrade. Depending on what type of investment you want to do, some of them require an initial amount. Okay. And this is going to all lead back to Jay Morrison. So, I got to break it down to you like that so you'll understand it. So this particular portfolio, which is actually a Roth IRA because it was a retirement account too, and it required $5,000 down. And once you put the $5,000 down, you don't just put $5,000 down and leave it and think that it's going to make money. Yeah, it will make money, but to continue to make money, you have to continue to put money in it. And that's where Jay Morrison failed at. He didn't let people know you have to continually put money in this for it to grow. And again, I believe it was somewhere around 9,000 people that invested. And it actually was a multi-million-dollar fund, two-digit, want to say around 12 million, I believe. And, that's multi-million. So people did that, and fast forward 2 years later, it's failing, guys, because, he it's apparent that he really doesn't know he doesn't really have a understanding. Let me say it like that, because a lot of people don't understand how it works. I personally started an investment company years ago, and I had 3 tiers to start your initial investment. One was $25, one was $50, and one was $100. And when I told people, when everybody was excited, they put the money down, and only one guy really understood about constantly putting money into it. People believed that you could just put money into it one time, and that was that. And then people thought, okay, well, if I put this amount and this person puts a greater amount, do we still get the same money back? And I explained to them, no, that's not how it works. And I told them, it being a group investment, we all need to have meetings, and we all have to decide how we want to do this. Don't just rely on me to do it, because what I may want to do, you guys may not want to do. And when I told people that for what we're trying to do, this will take about 10 years, people got very discouraged. And that's something else with investing, is longevity. Because even during this coronavirus epidemic, there are still stocks that are making money. And I know, because with my actual company stock my company 401k that I use at work, I disenrolled out of the professional management and just did it myself, just because I have experience. And I said, you know what, let me quit being lazy and manage my own retirement. And, during the beginning phase of the epidemic in the stock markets, and things of that nature declining, I lost a lot of money. So I called him and told him and said, I want to disenroll out of the professional management program and I'll just manage it myself. And I'm a risky investor. So I did it myself, went through what funds my company offered as far as investing with my 401k. And I looked on there and I saw the risk level. Some stocks were risky and they were actually index funds. And some of them were risky, some of them were moderate, some of them were conservative. Well, the one I invested in, it was very risky, but it was a low volatility, meaning the negative impact, the impact on the stock itself wasn't as heavy as some, because you got some that have a volatility like the Dow Jones or S&P 500, which is basically a group of those two stocks in particular, because I know everyone hears about them. Those are actually companies in that stock. And I mean, it would be another podcast for me to break it down. So anyway, I managed it myself and I saw an increase, but the same token, I allow my employer to deduct. I only do 10%. I do 10%, and I did that, and I saw an increase, and I look at it every day. And I also subscribe to the company that manages that index fund, so I can kind of know, and all the information is on the index funds for my company. Now we got that out the way, and I'm pretty sure you guys understand that. And if you don't, feel free to reach out to me. My phone number is 682-241-7316. I'm putting it out there. Phone number 682-241-7316. Anyway, now with Mr. Jay Morrison, where he failed at was that, and I don't know if he just didn't know, but he did not tell people, yes, to get in is a minimum of 500. And once you get in with 500, now you have to set aside a monthly amount you want to invest in every month. Because he was telling people 8% return and the management fees and all that. That's all good and well. But you got to tell people also that, as the great investors know, you got compound interest. So like people said, we know with the initial 500, there were fees taken out. So 8% of 500 is $40. Now imagine if you set aside $500 a month to invest into his Tulsa real estate fund. Okay. And you're getting an 8% return. Well, throughout the year, that's a little over over $400 you made just on 8% interest, as he said, guaranteed. I don't know if he guaranteed it, but 8% return for your first year. So now imagine if you invested $500 a year, which is a little over $5,000, actually about $6,000 for the whole year, and then $400 off of your interest, which is in the investment world, we're gonna say dividend. So. And I'm going to flip back to the company 401k or your own personal. They usually ask you, do you want to get your dividends in a check every month, or do you want to reinvest your dividends? Well, what I do at my job is I actually reinvest my dividends, which is what the terminology compound interest comes at, which means your money's compounding. The interest is compounding. So that's what a real butter, the sweet spot is, and that's why people do that. People reinvest their dividends instead of them getting a check every month. They just basically allow the dividends to go back into whatever they're investing in. And he didn't really break it down like that, and that's why. And I don't want to say that black people are ignorant, because I don't believe that, but a lot of times black people, if you will break it down, because I was contracting for a company, and it was mostly black people. It was a small group of us, and I showed people how to buy stocks. I showed them, hey, you go through a broker like Charles Schwab. What's the other one? Investment portfolio. I forgot what it's called. That's my mind went blank. Charles Schwab, Fidelity. You can go through these people here and actually create a brokerage account and just do nothing but trade stocks. You can do that. So, but that's where he failed at. And like I said, you can buy stocks once a week, every paycheck, and you can find a company you like, and you can either buy them when they're at a low, and then hoping that they'll go high, or you can buy them at their current price because they're only going to increase. Even if they decrease, you may lose money, but you still own those stocks and you're still a shareholder. And they actually have shareholder meetings. You get to vote, and 9 times out of 10, your company has it too, but people just delete the emails when they come out. So, but that's where Jay failed at. He didn't really explain it like that. He didn't let people know that, to get into this fund is a minimum of $500 down, and that'll be your initial shares in the company. Your initial shares, again, which is asinine. He should have positioned it as $500 down. And then he should have positioned it at paying a monthly, whatever you can afford, but paying a monthly payment, a weekly setup or a monthly setup. And whatever you're paying monthly and whatever you're paying monthly and whatever your account is, you'll continue to get 8% on that money. So say, for instance, if you do 500 a month continually, 500 to 1,000, 1,000 to 2,000, whatever, and your personal individual account has about, and every month, as he said, you'll get an 8%. So now, as opposed to 500, 8%, the next month you got 1,000 in there. So now you'll get 8% of 1,000. And the next month you got 1,500. And now you should get 8% on that 1,500. He didn't explain it like that. And then he should have said, you guys can either get your 8% check off of your fund amount, or you can reinvest it, and now it'll be compounded every month on top of what you're paying, because that's how it works with your 401k. Your 401k works, which most companies is stock driven. Basically, you have a 401k set up, but then you're actually investing in stocks. You actually are. You're investing in stocks, but some people don't even know how to read that stuff. They don't even understand it. But after today, you will be empowered to understand, because many people. This is how a lot of people gain wealth off of stocks. That's how they gain wealth. And some people gain their wealth by working a job 30, 40 years. They now have $2 or $3 million in their 401k, and they may have a pension going. They may have another retirement going. So now you have money to do things with. You're usually in your 60s, and now you can afford to take a risk for $1 million and buy some real estate and rent houses and then rent them out. And now you got a residual income coming in, because it takes time to build wealth, guys. It's very rare that you find people, really, really become wealthy in their 40s and 30s. You don't really start really, really seeing your fruits of your labor, or you should, until you're like in your 50s. This is statistics too. This is not me just making this up. So that's another problem. But that's where Jay failed at. And he didn't push that, people just probably gave $500 one time and thought that they would get 8% check off of one time $500. And I don't think he explained that well, or if he may have it, but I probably didn't hear it, but I don't think he did, And a lot of times, like I said, when I started my own investment company, we hadn't even decided what we wanted to invest on. But I told people, guys, we're first in the building capital stage. We have to build capital. And we have to decide what do we want to do, because we were doing a group investment, which is a lot easier than doing it individually. But now I don't do group investments anymore. I don't even fool with. I do things by myself now because people just are not consistent. They don't have the discipline they want. They don't understand delayed gratification. They want it now. And I just don't operate like that. I don't do fast money. So that's where he failed at, I feel, from just me watching, And that's the thing, guys. You have to, with his real estate fund, if you're going to do it, you're going to have to do a certain amount every month. And like I said, with my bank, Charles Schwab, when I did the intelligent portfolio, yeah, you gave an initial $5,000 down, but it also asked you, what do you want to contribute every month or quarterly or every week? Because you're not going to make money just off the initial down payment. I'm going to just say, I'm going to use that word down payment, so it's simple. So that's pretty much my take on it. This is my first podcast. I just wanted to, give y'all some good game out there. And, because a lot of our people don't understand, a lot of black people don't understand how investing works. They just don't get it. Some do, some don't. And those that do, they're like it's some hidden secret when it's really not. It's very simple. It's nothing. It's like I said before, if you see a stock or company that you want to invest in, if they're valued at $100 a share, that means to own 10 shares, you got to spend $1,000. Simple math, guys. It ain't that hard. Well, anyway, let me get out of here, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace.
Your morning commute typically takes 25 minutes. If a 400 cubic foot dairy truck spills 2% milk on the freeway, causing you to take a detour and get stuck at a drawbridge for 20 minutes, how late will you be? Don't know? Well, good news, you don't have to, because Waze knows. With real-time traffic alerts from real Waze users, your ETA is always up to date. Waze. Download and drive today.
What does it take to end cyber attacks? At Cyber Reason, we can tell you exactly what it takes. It takes an army of battle-tested defenders on a mission. Defenders who fight foes that operate under the cover of digital darkness. Defenders who think, move, and adapt faster than cyber attackers. Defenders with the technology and effortless automation to spot and attack forming on computers, mobile devices, servers, and the cloud, and alert you when it matters most. To end cyber attacks, it takes the brightest minds in global cyber intelligence working to deliver future-ready protection to guard your data wherever the fight moves. Cyber Reason is ready to win the battle with you and for you. In the fight to end cyber attacks, we are the defenders. Join us to reverse the adversary attacks with proactive protection against ever-evolving threats. Cyber Reason, end cyber attacks from endpoints to everywhere. Learn more at cyberreason.com. That's CYBEREASON.com.